Happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining me. Tonight we are going to finish my shirt that I did the little bird collars on, and we're also going to start stitching some gift tags using our small little icon embroidery of the month. So thanks for joining me. Tonight, my name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for the beginning crafter. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and it's a time that we can relax and craft together. I'm here for about an hour, and I work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the whole process along the way. So tonight, again, we are going to stitch some more of our little icons from our embroidery of the month. So we have these guys, and we also have these. So we will pick a few more of those tonight to stitch into little gift tags, and we're going to do the stitching where we actually fill in the whole entire shape. I think that'll be fun. But first, we are going to finish up the little shirt collar that we stitched. Got two little birds on there. I'll show you guys that up close. I think it's going to be a really fun piece when we're done. I'm excited to wear the shirt with all the little birdies. So thanks for joining me. Let's get going. All right, everyone. Thank you again for joining me. Just headed through your comments there. Thanks for popping on. All right, we're going to get right into it tonight. So far, this is our first little project that we made, a little ornament where we decorated an embroidery hoop with some fabric. The second little holiday piece that we're making is the shirt collar here. So we finished stitching up the cardinal and the black cap chickadee last night. We did this all in about 45 minutes casually. So we have our stick and stitch stabilizer. So that again is that piece of paper, or that kind of fabric-y paper that I've pre-printed all the designs on for the embroidery of the month, and I've cut out those two birds. And this sticks like a sticker, so we can just peel this away from the paper backing, and then it's sticky on one side. So we can cut out all these little icons and use them for whatever we want. And again, we did the stocking, the wreath, and the little Rudolph for this guy. Again, we just cut them out, stuck them on. Very similar to what we did here. So you can see the stick and stitch stabilizer on here. So it comes off in water. Normally I would just run this over the sink, but here, just for you guys, I have heated up some water. So this is just warm water from the tap. You can use cold water too, but it does work better with warm. I think it's just a bit faster, so I think I'm going to just do one at a time. I'm trying not to soak my whole entire shirt here, but let's just dip it in. I'll even get a little lower so you guys can see a bit better tonight. I think right there. And I can already tell it's starting to kind of ooze off of it. So you can see it's starting to turn invisible. It's starting to turn into a little goop. That's what we're shooting for. I'm actually going to agitate it with my fingers. I'm just carefully going over all the stitches with my hand, and you'll start to see the water get a little grayer. You might see some flakes in there. This is such a small itty-bitty piece, so that I'm not really expecting much as far as residue. So you don't want any of this on your fabric when you're done. I can see a little bit of it there still. So you really want to take your time and go over every single stitch and the fabric, so you can't see any of that stick and stitch anymore. And then when you're done with that, I just kind of rinse it off in another thing of water just to make sure that all the residue is off. And again, this piece is so small that I don't think we're going to have that big of an issue. All right, so that side's done. We'll actually press this as well, but there we go. He's looking cute. So here again was the before and after, really, of that paper. So it just dissolves. It just kind of melts away there. So let's do this side. And then we will give it a little press. Yeah, I can tell that this is just a little bluer, a little grayer, this water. So yeah, this is, you could just run over, like warm water over it, over the sink. That's what I usually do. I suppose this probably uses a little less water doing it this way. There, it seems to be coming off. It's so little. It's just going to be a little tiny detail to this shirt. You're going to hardly be able to see it, I think, but I'll know it's there, and if you're up close, you'll see it. All right, so I think we're good there. I'm going to move my water out of the way. Okay. So I have a little fluffy towel. I'm just going to use it to wipe the surface dry here. But you are going to want a fluffy towel when you use this stick and stitch. And not because of the stick and stitch, but because I'm going to press it right away. And I'm going to press on the back of the stitches. It's a little tricky with the whole collar here. But by pressing on the back of the stitches, we're actually squishing the stitches. Like, we don't want to squish them flat, so we have this kind of terry cloth. All those stitches will sink into the fabric there. So, all right, let's get it sizzling. So this is also going to dry. It's going to dry the fabric as well. Really could press this whole shirt. Probably needs a little pressing. We'll just do the collar here. All right, that's actually almost looking dry already. So the fabric got lighter. That means it's kind of dried out, and there we go. Oh, he's cute. Oh my gosh. So he's pretty much dry. I'll let him sit overnight too to just dry a little bit more, but in general, he's just ready to go. Let's do this side. All right. Sizzle. We're basically steaming the collar while we press. This is such a gauzy fabric. So it stretches kind of funny, but I think that's really all we need to do there. So let's just kind of take a look at what we got. It's a little wet in other places, but that's fine. That can just be, actually, you know what, I'm going to press this collar a little bit. Just so that the whole collar can be nice. It's so silly. Ugh, how fun. All right, there we are. Let me show you guys a little closer. But there is our cute little collar. So silly. All right, that was fun. I loved it. You know, this is a great idea. I just want to take little icons like this and just hide them in shirts. Like, what if you stitched like a little star or a little heart or a little bird on, you know, a sweatshirt somewhere, or a friend's sweatshirt, and they just had to discover it or something, you know? That'd be fun. So, all right, I cannot wait to wear this. Maybe I'll wear this tomorrow, so we can check it out. But ugh, how cute! I love how that turned out. Awesome, you guys. So that is a project done. I'm gonna shush that to the side, and let's start our next thing. So next up, I would like to turn some of these icons into little gift tags. So, and I'd also like to try filling it in, and we've done that a couple times before, but I wanted to show you just this piece that I did a few years ago now, but it is this little bunny, and this is on a sweatshirt, or like just a sweater as well. So I just wanted to show you this because that cardinal and black hat chickadee is on clothing, right? So this has been washed, a ton of times. Like, I don't know, at least 20 times since I've done this. Probably a whole lot more than that. And it is perfectly fine yet. I mean, all the floss looks just nice and nothing wrong with it at all. So the back on this one is actually protected because this was actually a patch. I actually stitched it on a different color. You can kind of see a little purple edge. I stitched it on purple fabric and then I tucked the edge under and stitched it to here. So you can actually see any of the stitches on the other side. So the back is protected, but still, through the wash, it's held up. So I'm not worried that the birds are gonna be any problem whatsoever in the wash. All right, so again, my plan for this, but I wanted to, why I showed the bunny also is that I want to fill in some of these shapes, kind of like how we did the bunny. Like, you know, this would be so cute filled all the way in. Instead of just outlined, I'm just filling things in. I think that'd be a fun challenge. So, and these are the perfect size to do something like that. So I want to pick some of these icons, and what I'm going to do is stitch it to a piece of fabric. This is just some excess muslin that I have around. We'll probably give this a press. So I'm going to actually trace them on. I printed these out so we can decide what we want to do. I'm not using the stick and stitch for this because since I'm going to be covering all the stitches, I think I'd just rather be able to see the fabric while I stitch so I can get just in the right spot with my stitch instead of having that layer of the stick and stitch stabilizer in the way. I think that's going to be easier. So I do have my water-soluble marker here, and we'll pick one of these and trace it onto here. But then I'd like to make it into like a little gift tag and sew it onto some pretty wool. So it'll kind of look like this. Like if this is the gift tag, we'll sew it with the machine onto the wool when we're done, and then just like cut a really pretty edge to it, and it'll just be like this little piece of wool with this little like raw edged muslin on it with our little stitched character and like a to and a from. So we're kind of winging it, but that's what I got in my head, and I think it's going to be actually really pretty. So all right, let's figure this out. So I'm going to just go in a larger area, and we will cut it down from there. But let's give this a press, just because he's looking a little sad. And I'll probably cut a chunk of this off so I can get it into an embroidery hoop. All right, that's probably fine. All right, so I have my embroidery hoop here. Okay, that's plenty big. I'm gonna just trim off this excess so I don't have tons of fabric all over the place when I stitch this, because this is just a big random piece of muslin that I have. All right, so I'm gonna kind of draw out my idea here. So I think the plan is, all right, let's trace. Ooh, let's get a ruler. How about that? I think my plan is to just, ultimately, I want something that looks like, let me get a pen here, that looks maybe like a little gift tag. We could put a little corner like that in, and like our little icon can go here, and then we can write like a little to, make a dashed line, and like maybe like a from and a dashed line. Obviously, I think we'll have to make this a little bit bigger, something like that. And then, yeah, so something like that, and then we'll sew it to that other piece of fabric. And I don't know, maybe we have an extra long edge that we bend around, and then we can sew along the line, and then we can like have a string go through that. That would be kind of neat. So this is kind of the concept, right? Yeah, so instead of doing like a hole for a ribbon, just because I don't have like a riveter or something, I thought maybe we can wrap it around like this. But we could actually just thread a ribbon through too. Maybe here. We'll play around. But that's kind of the idea. So I'm not gonna draw all this on to the piece, but I just want you to have kind of an idea of where my thinking is at. So I'm probably gonna try and place. That's why I have such a big piece of fabric too. So I'm gonna just place one of the designs here, and then we'll figure out like the to and from. We'll just kind of write that all on here. This is gonna be a big tag, but I think it's gonna be cute. So all right. What should we stitch, you guys? We did talk about something that was yellow because we have this pretty gray and this gray and like a yellow. Like a yellow like that are the new Pantone colors of the year for 2021. So we thought that was kind of funny. Maybe we do something, but I don't know like what would be good for a yellow. Here's what we have already. Maybe we look at it this way. I mean, and we could do something that's not yellow. You know, what would be actually pretty easy to do would be this present. The hat is yellow, but I don't know. I don't know if I would have as much fun filling that in. Kind of like to do something with a little bit more shape to it. I don't know. I kind of want to. I mean, this holly's kind of pretty. We could do the holly, and like each side could be like a different color green. That would be kind of pretty. And I think this would go awfully quick. So we can do more than one as well. Let's start with the holly. I'm just choosing. So I'm going to find the one with the holly on. Where'd it go? Right there. So let's just give that a trace. So if you can't see through your fabric, but it's a light colored fabric, hold it up to a window or have a light shine through from behind, like with a light box or something. I'm going to get you guys even closer. These are itty bitty tonight. All right, so let's just trace this on. I think this is going to go so fast, you guys. I'm not even sure we have to do long and short stitches for this because we're hardly covering any ground whatsoever. I could just satin stitch this whole thing. We might just do that. This will be extra fast. And then we can do the long and short stitches on a different one. Ugh, it's going to be cute. All right, so I'm going to get this in the hoop. Then we'll take a look at it. So I think I'll stitch this up, but then we'll get, we'll write the to and from on a piece of paper first and see if we like it. So kind of like how we did the 2020 for the ornament here. We drew it on a separate piece of paper first and got it so we liked it, so we could put it underneath and trace it. We really could do that right now. Why don't we do that? So I'm thinking, you know, to and from. So just trying to write it kind of cute. To, let's do 2 dots, and then I'd love like a little dashed line. I'll just draw this as a line, but it would be fun as a little running stitch, right? And should we have it right justified or left justified? Ugh, I'm getting designery. Okay, let's do, I don't know, kind of like a pretty F. It's kind of pretty. From, I can actually always shift it when I trace it if I don't like where it is. So if you know who it's to or from already, you could actually write their name on and stitch the name. But I kind of think it's kind of cute blank we could stitch this, but then afterwards, you know, you can just take, you know, a permanent marker like this, and you could just write, like, to John from Alyssa on there. Because that's what everyone's writing on theirs, right? Or you could go ahead and stitch that, but I kind of like the idea of they're blank, and then you can just write whoever you want, and then you could just make a whole pile of them for fun. And give it to someone who's gonna appreciate that you spent all this time on a silly gift tag, right? But I think I save all these things. I think they're just fun. And John would appreciate it too. So, all right, I actually kind of like how this looks, so I'm just gonna leave it. But go ahead and, you know, let's try another one. I mean, we could do capital letters. That would be a whole lot easier to stitch in theory. Well, actually, there's a lot of little round bits in it, isn't there? And I still like the running stitch. But I don't know. I'm thinking the cutesy. Let's just do that. And they could maybe be further apart. Let's see what it looks like with the holly. And I'm trying to imagine, like, it in a larger piece, too. So I might have them a little further apart. And so I'm going to start a little bit higher with the two. Maybe get closer. Yeah. And, you know, doesn't have to be perfect here either. So I'm going to trace the two. And this is water soluble, this marker, so we'll take this out later. And actually, I think for this, I'm going to even get a ruler on it. Let's have it go a little. Let's have it go 2 inches. Let's go 2 inches. There. Looks pretty good. All right, so I think the from I'm going to have go a little lower. It's kind of more like that. We could have it lined up with the two. Nah, it looks prettier, I think, with the T and the F lined up. All right, I like that. Ooh, these are kind of close together, these letters. I'm going to make it a little wider. We're going to bring that O a little bit further out. I'm going to bring the M a little further out too. Adjusting the text as we go. A lot of little curves, but we've been stitching with just the 2 strands, so that should make this a little easier. Okay. All right, that looks decent. And then I'm going to take this and, I don't know, should it go further? I don't want it too long, so I'm going to use this as a guide. So I can get these parallel. I think that looks pretty good. I can't really see where the 2 inches end, so I'm just going to draw it on. I think I need to scooch up a hair. I'm going to just draw it on, and then it'll come off with the water. I'll just extend it. There, like so. But we'll end like right there. So let's just put a little mark here. All right. So that's cool. And then, you know, just to sketch it out, we'll have, you know, some sort of, it's going to be kind of a large tag here, but that's okay. Something like that. We can measure it out, but that's pretty cute. I don't think I drew that very straight. So we'll cut a decent rectangle and do this right. But just as a general idea, I just wanted to see what it was going to look like. So something like that. That's pretty. And I don't know if you guys can tell very easily, but it's on there. Yeah, and then we'll have it go on the larger piece. So I'm going to do that 2 strands again. Oh, I suppose with, really with satin stitch, you could go even 1 strand if you want it real fancy. That might be kind of fun to do. Should we do some 1 strand? You know what? I'm going to stick to the 2 strands because that way I can do that. I can do that method of the loop method of starting, and I'm kind of addicted to that lately. That's been pretty slick. So I think let's start with the holly leaves, just because I think those are going to be the most fun. We're going to do one side of the holly with one color, green, and the other side of the holly with a different color, so that it'll look, that kind of, I mean, it's just kind of a cute design feature, but it's sort of like if the light's hitting it from one direction and it catches the light in one way, then it'll be lighter, and the other way it'll be dark. So I got my mass of thread here. I think let's just use this for 1. I'm going to double it up again, because we're going to just be taking 1 strand out at a time and doubling it up for the loop method. All right. So let's grab ourselves a strand. Will I make this tag 3D? Ooh, Gretchen, I don't know what you mean by that. 3D. I am going to stitch it onto that wool. All right, so here we go. Oh, Valeria, thank you. You're sweet. Thank you, thank you. There we go. This smells so good. Okay, this is that thread conditioner from Wisecraft Handmade again. I think it just kind of holds my threads together a little bit more, makes it a little less fuzzy, which protects it. It's like a wax that protects it a little bit. Needle with the needle minder, should have known. Ooh, we can actually, let's have this needle minder sit with us today. You can live up there. All right. Not very seasonal needle minder right now, but makes me feel like it's going to be summer soon. Ugh, you guys, I think it's supposed to get like 0 degrees, like a literal 0 degrees at Christmas, so I am not happy about that. Okay, let's start at the bottom here. I think I'm going to go these long vertical stitches on this because I think it'll just give that a nice look. So this is going to be kind of an awfully large loop, but oh well, that's fine. So that's my first stitch. I'm going to come to the back and pull, and then right when I get to that loop, I'm going to get my thread and stick it in there. And that's going to be, it's actually going to go down to this side. That's going to be what holds my thread in place, that little loop there. So no tying knots, no nothing, and we're ready to go. All right, so I'm going just a couple, not even a couple, like 1 or 2, I suppose 2 is a couple, fabric threads over. And I'm always starting at the bottom, or one side, in this case the bottom, and I'm always going to the opposite side. I'm not going from, I'm not like zigzagging. So we're just following the line. I know I have a little bump out here, so I'll do one side. Like my thread right there has hit this inside arch, so I'm not going to go any farther there, but it does come to a point a little bit more. So I'm going to just do this bottom area, and then I'll jump up to the top area. Oh, this smells like Christmas. I love it. Oh yeah, yep, I'm going to use the wool as a backing. So all this stitching will be, all this will be hidden. All the back will be hidden because I'll just be sewing it to this pretty wool that I have. Ugh, that's so pretty. That's actually from Fairboat Faribault Woolen Mills. It's an old, like an actual old mill, like a functioning mill in just south of the Twin Cities here. And you can take tours and stuff. And once a year, I know I posted pictures of this. I think it was last year or 2 years ago. Ugh, it had to be 2 years ago. But we visited the mill, John and I did, during, they have like a whole mill sale or something where they sell like just the excess fabric or things that have little errors in or just extra rolls of thread. It's really quite wonderful. So we actually bought, we bought like, I have a whole bin full of this particular fabric. It's nice and thick too. This, this plaid, this gray and cream plaid. So I don't know. Someday I want to do something with these. Maybe even make kits for something, because I did buy a lot of it at a bajillion times cheaper than it would be if I bought it as a blanket, because it's just the cutoffs from them making blankets out of these. So they just had it in different lengths, different sizes. I think that's pretty good over there. I'm going to just jump straight over here. But yeah, it's just a wonderful place, and I would love to go back there again for sure. But yeah, they sell just like those vintage wool rugs, and I think they have woven rugs and stuff now too. It's all just really cool. This is actually the first time that I'll be using this fabric. About time, I think. So this is looking really pretty already, filled in. So I'm not going to actually outline it. You could if you want, but I think it gives it a different look. I like it just kind of stopping, the edge just being as it is. Even though you can see all like the stitches and stuff, but like the edge of the ends of the stitches. But I think it gives it actually a little bit of a cleaner look than if you outline it. Sometimes with a satin stitch, you can outline first and then stitch over your satin stitches, and that will give it a little raised look. But this is so small. This is just going to be just fine as is. Okay, about 2 more stitches here. Just get like that little point in here. And gosh, we're done with this green already. Well, that wasn't long. Cute. Maybe we'll bring some of that back for this to and the from. I don't know. I think to and from could probably be red, because we'll do red for the berries, and then maybe we can do green for the stitches, or we could do to with that line being red, and then the from with that line being green. Maybe that's a better way of doing it. That'd be cute. I'm going to weave in the end here. We could do it different ways. I suspect we'll be able to make a couple of these. So that'll be nice. I already sent off a lot of our Christmas gifts, though, so I don't know. Suppose this will be for John. He's the only one around here. All right, let's get that dark green. I think that dark green with this lighter green is going to be pretty. I think this was just pulled from my little thread stash, little jumbled mess of thread. So again, I'm going to get like my doubled up so I can do that 1 strand loop deal, which I love. Or 2 strands, but it's made from 1 strand. Oh, you have the first 6 bindings half done. I was worried for that last night. Yeah, Yeah, Amy, did you say that you had 6 table runners to bind yesterday? I was thinking about that today. I'm like, that's a lot to get done. Six bindings. And send it out for Christmas yet, so I'm rooting for you. But yeah, I wish some of my quilts were at the stage of binding. We got a granny square quilt. Ooh, the new Aurifil block of the month has been released, and it looks pretty fun. I haven't done anything quite like that before, the technique used. So go check out on the Aurifil blog. That's Aura, A-U-R-I, and then Buzz, B-U-Z-Z, all one word. They have the December block of the month up. It's kind of cool. All right, let's start it up again. I think we'll start at the bottom again. I'm liking starting at the bottom. I'm gonna go in the same. Well, nah, we'll go one stitch over. So that light green will be right in the middle, and my dark green will be right next to it. So it'll be a hair more of the lighter green. I'm gonna try and get it close though. Ooh, this is gonna look so like classic and cute, I think. All right, grabbing that loop. And we can pull tight. Let's pull the loop tight first. There we are. So that should be secure. Now we're going the other direction. See what I mean though? Like I'm really looking at where my needle is coming up through the fabric because I want to get just like one strand of thread away from my last stitch. That would have been a little bit harder to see had I done this with the stick and stitch. It would be just kind of guessing. And with something like this little and delicate, I thought this might be a better way of doing it. And that didn't take long. That took 2 seconds to trace this on. With these little itty bitty guys, it's nothing. Oh yeah, so that's what I was talking about. I have the Aurifil. We'll have that quilt that we'll need to do a back for and everything. We have same with the granny square quilt. We're cruising on that. It's coming. We'll get to the end of that soon. Ish. But there's the I Love Home quilt that is sandwiched and ready to quilt, as is the Triangle Tango quilt still. That is sandwiched and ready to quilt as well. I just need to get on the machine, really, right? So those, man, I wish those were quilted and I was at the binding stage. That would be something else. But they do have backs and they are sandwiched together, so they're the farthest along of quilt projects that I have right now. But man, I need to get cracking on some of those. All right, so there's our first little holly leaf. It's so sweet. Ugh. And I love the satin stitch. It gives it just like a little poof. Like you can kind of see the edge there. It's just a little, got a little bit of a 3D-ness to it. So any stitch longer than this, I mean, this is a pretty, it's not that long of a stitch, but from, you know, the vein, like the one side to the other, it's a pretty big stitch. You know, that's a 1/2 inch or so, maybe a little less. If I was getting it any longer than that, I'd probably maybe switch to a long and short stitch, although you don't have quite the satiny look. But you can start blending colors together if you want to, like we did with the Your Sweet, that peach embroidery, that peach and strawberry embroidery that we did for an Embroidery of the Month this year. Ugh, this is gonna look cute. So we'll see how far we get on stitching this tonight, but I for sure will finish this tomorrow, and I'll have like a wet rag nearby as well, so we can take the stick and stitch off. Not the stick and stitch, the water-soluble marker, the blue lines. We'll get those off and give it a little press, and I'll have the sewing machine ready. We can stitch it to the wool. You know, I was kind of tempted to use a pinking shears on this just so it would have like a nice kind of zigzaggy raw edge, but now I kind of think just a straight cut that can fray a little bit. I like the raw edge look, especially with that wool and this muslin, so we'll just leave it raw. I'm not going to tuck under the edge or anything like that. Although you really could sew right sides together and then turn it right side out and then stitch along the edge. Dang, that would look cute too. Ooh, we might have to do one with a raw edge and then one with where we sew it inside out and then tack it down. That one might be a little bit more difficult because the wool is pretty thick, but that'd look cute too. So it depends like how finished you want it. If you don't like the raw edge and you want a nice finished edge, then perhaps sewing the right sides together, leaving a little gap, and then turning it right side out might be the way to go. All right, we have our two little leaves on there. So let's just get those berries through here. Oh, good. This we can double up still. Ooh, it's not very long, but the berries are pretty small. Still liking that doubling up deal. So I'm going to do these berries satin stitch too. This is a fun look. Especially this small, this is a fun look filling in the shapes like this. Oh yeah, this could definitely be an ornament. Even with the to and the from on there and to and from a particular person, that would be a sweet idea for an ornament. I agree, that'd be fun. All right. And there is the Splendid Sampler too. That's not done yet either. However, for that one, at least we're quilting it as we go, so we're kind of including that last step as we do it. So with circles and shapes like this, I always kind of like, instead of starting on one side and going to the other side, which totally works, I do kind of like starting in the middle, like one big middle stitch. That helps me get a feel of the direction of my floss too, and then I do the one side and then the other side. I suppose we could do it a couple different ways, but that's kind of my go-to. Ooh, what if we did a satin stitch for these O's? That would be kind of fun. Maybe it would be putting too much emphasis on the O's for no reason. That could be too. All right, catching that loop. Just pulling it tight. There we are. All right, so, gosh, this is hardly anything, like 3 stitches on one side, 2 on the other. They're so small, this will go fast. And then we'll just jump up to the next one, and then the next one. Just a little hint of this red. Ooh, it's so bright and pretty. Ooh, I don't know if I'm going to have enough floss, though, for all 3. We'll see. We'll just stop wherever we run out of floss, I think. I think we can make it still look like circles. I think that one's looking decent. I don't think we need to add to that. I am still going to start in the middle. I'm just more comfortable doing that. Let's just do another middle one. So really you could change the directions of your satin stitches. Like I could do this one at like a different angle so it's different from the first one. Kind of like how these ones go this way and then these ones go that way. But I already made a stitch, so we won't change it for this first one, but maybe the last one we can do at a different angle. It's looking cute though. I might actually take it out of the hoop to do the running stitch, just because a running stitch is so much easier with loose fabric. We'll see. Alright, so yeah, this one will go at a little different angle. It'll go like this. Then the light will hit it just a little differently. Be a little different. Or maybe not, because I might do the same color. So I'm not going to want to take it out of the hoop. I'm going to want to just stitch the two and then do the running stitch. We'll figure it out. Getting ahead of myself. Alright, that looks good. So there is our cute little holly. I'm going to weave in that end. Ugh, look how dainty it is. That's fun. Just such a little delicate bit. Just went down to this green because there's more to weave in. Oops, and I got a little knot here. So I'm going to just stick my needle in that knot, pull the loop to the needle, and pop it right out. Oops. And one, two, three. Oh, that was three. I accidentally took, the thread got loose. All right. Let's see. All right, it's looking cute. So I'm thinking we do two, I was thinking we could do two in red. And then from in green, but we could do a totally different color here too. Let's see. Even this light tan, I'm just looking over here, even this light tan is kind of pretty. Kind of rusticy. So that's an option. We could do the blue. That's really sweet too. For some reason, my eye was going to this light brown. I think we might just do it that color. I don't know why. I feel like that's not really, wouldn't be one of my normal choices, but it does kind of make it just a little bit more rustic. We're doing it. Going with my gut. Which will look pretty with the wool, I think. A little rustic look to it. We'll do our little running stitch with this. I might just do it all this tan. We can play around. So this one we can have it all this tan, and then our next one we could have just all sorts of colors. Ooh, metallic silver and gold would look really pretty, Gina. I don't have any of that in my scrap stash. I'd have to dig through my real stash. My real stuff for that, which we could. I could bring out some silver and gold tomorrow, and we could play with that. It'll probably be Friday by the time we get to another embroidery. We might be able to start tomorrow. But yeah, we'll get some silver and gold. That'd be fun. It's the holidays. Should do some silver and gold stuff. Oh, this is gonna be so sweet. So these the two strands really is nice for the small lettering and stuff. I'm really kind of liking stitching with the two strands. Feeling more delicate, I guess. Oh, that's true. Amy says, I like the brown, goes with the nature of the plant. That's true. That it really does. I think it's kind of pretty. All right, we're going to do this like a hexagon, this 2. This O, I mean. The one weird thing, though, with this loop method is that when I'm done, and if I have this much thread left over, I can't do the loop method again with this because I've cut it. I've lost my loop. I would have to fold it in half again. So that's maybe a little... Oops, I skipped a stitch. I wanted to do a hexagon here. So it's a little oddity with the loop method. Oh, this is just going to look just so cute. A little classic look. Ooh, Amy says could sew rickrack to the edges and make it look like a postage stamp. Oh, that'd be fun. Gosh, I don't think I have any rickrack. That seems not right. That seems like something I should have in my stash somewhere. Okay, I'm making 2 little French knots. Ugh, fun. Love throwing a French knot in there. Alright, and then let's do a little running stitch. That's easier for me to go in this direction. Ooh, I feel like I got a knot in there. Yep, sure enough. So I'm going to put the needle in that loop again. Kind of pull up on one side or the other will make it go towards the needle. We'll pop it out. That's why I like having my left hand on the back while I work, is I can feel if I get a weird knot like that. But we would have covered it up with the wool anyway. All right, I'm going to actually make this kind of looser. I think it's going to be easier to stitch. So we'll just go up and down, do a little running stitch. Pull a couple stitches through. I think a running stitch is just really sweet for this line. So up and down. Again, make your fabric a little looser in the hoop if you're staying in the hoop for this. It'll be easier to get this up and down motion. And this is much easier, a running stitch without the stick and stitch stabilizer as well. So just a little water-soluble marker, do the job. And then all these, all the in-between spots where you still see the marker, that will go away because we will get it wet. All right, so I'm going to end on that little end notch that I made, and we'll just pull it through to the back. It's so cute. Ah! All right. I really love it. So I'm just going to kind of weave in the end here. It's a little difficult because there's not much to weave in, so I'm just kind of going to go around the first few stitches, and then we'll come back, and then we can get through all these little threads. Again, we are going to protect this with the wool behind it, so I'm not too worried about these being totally secure. All right, snip, and let's see what we got. All right, we got about 5 minutes left here. I think we can just finish this up. It'd be nice to finish up the stitching tonight, because then we can just figure out the mechanicalness of it all, like how big to make the rectangle, and get the sewing machine out and sew it to the wool. We can get all in that mode tomorrow, so it'd be nice to have it stitched. We'll also take off we'll press it and take off the water-soluble marker tomorrow. But it'd be nice to get the embroidery done. All right. Ooh, yeah, silver and gold. So the metallic thread is really not as easy to stitch as this 6-strand embroidery floss, so we'll see how that goes. I would love to try some satin stitch stuff with some of that metallic thread. I'm not sure if I've ever done that with that thread, so that'd be fun to dig around in my floss and find that stuff to work with again. If not now, when? All right, we're going to get these little bitty curves of this F. Ugh, this is really looking cute. I'm really happy with it. And I think this brown looks really nice. Then it makes, then the holly is its own colors and it pops off instead of trying to compete with this text, I think. And this text is just a nice neutral color so that the holly pops a little bit as well. And these 2 strands is really making this text easy. This is nice. Oh yeah, color choices are I'm seeing you guys' conversation about color choices. I struggle with that. I think more than anything, color is what I struggle with the most. And I mean, I don't know, even if it doesn't look like I struggle with it, I'm constantly thinking about it. And I don't know. I don't think I make super bold color decisions, really. I don't know. I follow a lot of illustrators and stuff, and I'm always just mesmerized by the colors they choose. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I would never be able to do that. So I feel ya. Sometimes it's helpful to look at pictures that you think are really beautiful and just use those colors. I think I just kind of got lucky with this brown. I think this looks nice because, like I said, I was going to do the top red and the bottom green, like that red and that green, and then I don't know, this brown just popped up. And it would have looked fine like that too, probably, but I'm really liking how this is looking. Oof, all these curvy little letters. Alright, we got this little M that's pretty curvy too. I think we'll just get them little pointy tops. Then just those 2 little French knots and a running stitch to our end point there. I think that was smart to put that little end, like a stopper point. That's going to be helpful on this one for sure. Versus trying to use your eyes to measure that as you're stitching to get these ends the same. I'm glad we measured it out from the beginning. Future self was helping present day self again. Well, it's nice when they do that. Last time I did the top top French knot first. This time I'm doing the bottom one first. For no reason at all. Alright, let's do that running stitch. And I'm going to go right to left, so I'm going to tilt it up. Let's make it a little looser. I'm just pushing the fabric so it's a little looser in the hoop. That's just going to make it easier to get these nice little stitches. I think about 2 through. Otherwise I'd have to get my thimble out and really push those threads through. That's looking so cute. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. All right, we're approaching our little stopper. I think we'll go up and down one more time. It'll be a little bitty one. Oops, don't have the thread there. Very nice. All right, and I'll go down. It's so cute. All right, let's weave in the end here. And then we'll call it a night. We will figure out the ultimate shape to this. You know, I'm going to get this wet to get rid of the water-soluble marker, and that's going to delete my line from around here too. So I think we'll just kind of cut a strip, a rectangle with this centered in, and then we'll work on how far from the edges it will be. So we'll figure that out tomorrow. I'm going to take this guy off. Get my needle on there. And all right, let's take this out. It's so cute. So I'm just going to fold it on those edges just so we can kind of peek what this is going to look like. Let's just try and we'll tuck that in. So we did use a lot of extra fabric, but I wasn't quite sure what size this was going to be yet, and I wanted to use a hoop so we could do a little pointy edge here maybe. Cute! All right, and then we'll put it on this pretty wool. So we'll have like a little edge to the wool as well so we can see a little bit around the edge, I think. So kind of like that. Ugh, all right, it's gonna be so sweet. And maybe we do leave a little, like, kind of loop on the end. Really, what if we're gonna be sewing this, we could make a little tag, like a little loop coming out of this, and then that could be, you could run a string or something through that. I kind of like that idea, so we could get it like here, cut a little rectangle that we sew into a loop, and that gets sewed in when we sew this on. That'd be kind of cute. I don't know if we really need a pointy edge. This might be cute as just a rectangle too. I don't know, the pointy edge is pretty cute. I'm going to do the pointy edge, I think. All right. There we are. So I am loving this. And again, that cute little satin stitching this in was great. We'll work on this on Friday as well. I mean, tomorrow we will, but tomorrow we'll be making the whole thing. I don't know how long that'll take. But if we get the chance, I do want to make another one of these. And we can, I'd like to fill it in again. And we'll try using that gold or silver thread for that. So we'll have to choose one that works for that. Actually, just the snowflake with the metallic would be really pretty, but it would be fun to try and fill something in again. All right, you guys. All right, so thank you again for joining me here. Let's see. Here's, I don't know if you can tell, it is so small here. Itty bitty. I was like seeing it next to a person, then you can just see how small it is. I think it's going to be adorable. So imagine wrapping a present in like that brown, like a brown paper bag, that brown like craft paper, and then having like this super rustic, pretty wool tag on top of it with some twine. Ugh, it'd be cute. Put a little sprig of some spruce in there. I might have to get like a little gift here. We might have to just decorate it with this tomorrow. Ugh, that would be fun. Okay, we'll really make a cute package tomorrow, I think. That'll be fun. Let's do it. All right, you guys, thanks again for joining me. These patterns are available in the shop. It's our embroidery of the month for December. They come as printable patterns or as a bundle, so be sure to check those out. Then you can get all these cute little icons, use them whatever. We are just cutting them out and using them individually as we want versus stitching the whole thing together. And it's been kind of fun. This has been neat working with these itty bitty embroideries. So thanks again, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a great weekend, guys. Or a great, not quite yet weekend, a great rest of your Thursday. How about that? Man, time's jumping by. See you guys. Good night.